Hi everyone, in this video I want to take you through a little bit of an ALEKS tutorial. So whenever you're going through Canvas and you're going through your weekly tasks, you're going to be referred over to this ALEKS Math tab for the activities and for the weekly homework. So when you click on that, the first time you click on it, you're going to go through a setup process, but it's very simple. Just follow the directions. And then it will take you into ALEKS. Now this is the teacher view, so I'm going to go quickly into the student view, and this is what you will actually see. Upon your first time entering ALEKS, you will get a little welcome tutorial here, kind of explaining how ALEKS works. And as the teacher, I'm allowed to skip some things that you're not allowed to skip. So I'm going to skip that. And then you will take the tools tutorial. So it will go through and give you a tutorial on how to use the different tools. Like, how do I enter a fraction? How do I enter an exponent? How can I enter just different types of formatting, maybe special symbols that you might need to use? How do you use the graphing tool? So it will take you through a tutorial to teach you how to use all of the different functions. And again, you have to do these, but to save time, I'm not going to do all of them, but this is what it's going to do. I'm going to go ahead and skip the rest of that. The rest of that is for you to do. I do not want to do that either. Okay, here's an example of it's going to teach you how to graph on here. So finish the tools tutorial. Once you've finished the tools tutorial, it unlocks that initial knowledge check. So this is very important. It's as important as the placement test that you took to get into this course. Don't take it whenever you're distracted or when there's other things going on. Make sure that you're, full stomach, well rested, quiet place. Set aside at least 30 minutes to an hour. I don't think it'll take that long, but just make sure you have plenty of time. It's not timed, so you don't need to feel like you're in a rush. And this is going to start you with your pi. So again, it just reminds you to make sure you do this seriously. Have paper and pencil out. You're going to need to write things down. This is not a course that you can do everything in your head. Make sure you do your own work. And then get started. So I'll show you what this sort of looks like, but this will be up to you to do. Every individual student's going to get their own. There is a calculator that you can use when it appears, and if the calculator's not there, then it's a question that should not even require a calculator. And it says to only choose the I don't know if you have absolutely no idea how to even get started. A guess is better than an I don't know, basically. So if you have any ideas, even just make your best guess on any question. I'll show you kind of what this looks like. So it's going to start you with a random problem from the class. Do your best to answer it, submit your answer, and then move on from there. And ALEKS will be diagnosing the whole time, moving you kind of sort of up and down through the content to try to get a good idea of what do you know and what do you need to work on. So again, you don't get to skip this. I'm going to skip it, and I'm going to say, let's pretend that I have some moderate knowledge of the topics in this course. I have a little bit of knowledge. Here's my pi. This is the pi that I've been talking about. So I know a lot about some topics. I know very little about some topics, and there are some topics that I don't know anything about. You don't have to feel bad about this whatsoever. That's why you're in this course. Like, we expect for you to need to work to fill in your pi. Otherwise, there would be no reason for you to be in this class. But look, it'll tell you how many topics for the whole course. There's 288 topics in the course. I randomly just chose this to make it for me. And in this case, I knew 119 out of this many topics. I already have almost half of the course done. I don't expect you to have half of the course done when you do this, but you'll have some. Everyone ends up with some percentage done. So that just means that when we hit those weekly topics, some weeks you will have more to do because those will be things that you don't know yet. And some weeks you'll have less to do. Whatever week this is, I won't have a lot of homework that I need to do that week because I already have a lot of knowledge about that. Okay, that's your pie. Everyone will have their own individualized pie based on what they know and what they don't know. And you can always jump back and forth between that and the timeline. The timeline then will basically give you a schedule of what you need to be doing. We're going to go to start my path. So again, it shows you what we're doing the first week. Out of this first week, you will have so many out of 30 topics completed. There's 30 topics to be completed. This random generation of things says I have 23 of the 30 already completed. So I only have 7 topics that I need to complete this week. And everyone's is going to be different again on here. So I'm going to go ahead and say start my progress or start my path here. And it automatically puts me right where the program thinks I need to be. Like the topic that automatically pops up is what the program has decided that you are ready to learn the best and that you're likely to have the best odds of getting through this quickly. So it shows you kind of a question, and this is an example. It walks you through how to solve a problem like this. And then it actually gives you the start button and it gives you one of your own to do. Okay, and that's how ALEKS kind of does it. They give you an example and then they give you one of your own to do. As you answer the questions, this bar will turn green. If I get the first one right, I get this filled in. And you get like bonus points for getting multiple questions in a row correct. So if I get a second question in a row correct, I get 2 of these filled in. And 3 questions correct is going to max me out and I'm going to be done with this topic entirely. Now let's say I get the first one right and the second one right, so I'm up to here, but then I get the third one wrong. What that's going to do is it's going to bump me back down and it's going to give me a little bit of more explanation, and then it's going to give me a couple extra questions to try to do to get mastered. There's also, it says you don't need a calculator on this question. There's always a opportunity to watch a video over this topic, to go to the ebook, or to go to the message center. Again, also, when you're in here, so this is what the homework looks like. Whenever you're doing your activities, what you want to do is you want to go down to the textbook and say the ebook. Pull this down a little bit. Okay, so here's the ebook, and I'm keeping it kind of small, but you're welcome to maximize it. The reading is where the actual activities are. So we are on lesson 1-1, and 1-1 and 1-2 are the activities in week 1. And basically what you're going to do is you're just going to go through and read through this. You should have your own paper out, and you should be answering these questions. Again, I told you that I'm not necessarily going to collect these every week, but at any time I could ask you to submit a part of it, and you would want to make sure that you've got that. So if I were doing this, what I would have is I'd have my book open on my screen, and then I would have a piece of notebook paper. So this Word document is simulating my notebook paper. Or if you want to do this on a tablet, that would be great as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record my answers to these problems as I work. So I might write, okay, this is activity 1 or 1-1. And I would read through that first paragraph. And then question 0 says, do you think you do a good job of budgeting your time, and explain? So I might say here, yes, I think I'm pretty good at budgeting my time. I make checklists and prioritize each week. Okay, so maybe that's my answer for problem 0. And then we work through the activity. You will read through this. And then problem number 1 says to count the number of spaces containing each letter in the time chart. Use the results to fill in the following chart. So for number 1, I would draw a chart. I would draw this chart that they've got here. right? Something like this, and I'm going to fill that in. So you need to be recording your work as you work through these. You should have this on notebook paper or just white paper or whatever you're using, okay? So I just wanted to give you an example of that. Also, if you get stuck, if there at any point in time you cannot answer this question, please don't just give up and don't leave it blank. Remember, these are your notes. This is what's going to help you with that homework. And this is what I'm going to ask to see first if you ask me a question. And it's what Jean will ask to see as well. So if you get stuck, go to the Media tab and notice that there are videos of everything. Try to do it on your own. Some of it's personal answers too, right? Like number 0 was a personal answer. So of course there's not going to be any right or wrong for that one. But on this next one, for drawing the chart, try to do it yourself. But if you're stuck, or if you just want to, if you're a person who likes to double check your work, that's always a good idea. You can always go under here. Everything is very short, brief videos, and it's going to show you what the right answer should be. So you shouldn't be left with questions of, did I do this correctly? You should know whether you did it correctly or not. And then if you can't figure out why based on their explanations, that's when you should be contacting Jean or I to ask us some questions. Okay, so I hope that this tutorial here for how to work through ALEKS was helpful for you. I'm always available. Please send me questions as you have them.